Hey guys, how are you all doing today? It's your friend Matt here again, and welcome back to another Borderlands 2 video. Today, I wanted to discuss with you guys one of the new weapons implemented into the most recent DLC in Borderlands 2, Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt, and today I want to actually show you guys about the new Seraph shotgun known as the Interfacer, which I'm sure those of you who have brought the DLC know quite a bit about this new weapon. It's actually one of the very few Seraph items that I can actually stand to use and not look at in absolute disgust. But some background information on the Seraph items for those of you who are inexperienced with the origination of the Seraph items. You don't really know where the idea of it actually came from, or maybe you don't have the DLCs in the first place. But the Seraph items originated because of the legendaries. The legendary weapons in the main game all have or will have in the future their Seraph brothers and sister, and I say will have in the future because not all the DLCs have been released yet for this game, only 3 of them. So many of the legendary weapons already have their Seraph brothers and sisters implemented into either of these 3 DLCs that are currently out right now: Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt, Mr. Torg's Campaign of Carnage, or Captain Scarlet and her Pirate's Booty. For instance, the Gub, not the Gub, the legendary pistol known as the Thunderball Fists. They have a Seraph comparison in Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt known as the the Infection Pistol, and they work very similarly. And for instance, the Interfacer and the Conference Call, which is actually what we're comparing today. The Conference Call, if you guys don't know, was probably my favorite weapon in Borderlands 2 before they patched the B Shield. I remember back in the day, man, when I would gunzerk 2 of these things with the B Shield, and I would just demolish Terramorphous in 3 seconds. It used to be very hilarious, but they patched the B Shield since then, and since then the popularity of the Conference Call has diminished greatly, and not a lot of people use it anymore. There are a lot of other raid boss fighting weapons such as the Sandhawk, or maybe even the Fibber if you still use the Fibber after its patch. But overall, the Interfacer, which is the Seraph comparison to the Conference Call, of course, works very similar to the Conference Call. It is a Hyperion weapon, same manufacturer. It looks the same. It may have some different colors, and it also works kind of in the same way. But the Interfacer does have some really cool attributes that might compare to the Conference Call, and maybe even be a little better than the Conference Call, which is what we're going to be discussing today. And like I said at the beginning of the video, it's one of the only few Seraph items that I can actually use, because if you guys don't know, the first 2 DLCs, almost all of the Seraph items, except for maybe the Hoplite Shield, they're all garbage, to be perfectly honest, and their legendary comparisons are way better than them in the first place. So today we're going to be discussing these 2 weapons and comparing them. So we'll first talk about the Conference Call, and the Conference Call that I'm using in the footage that you're looking at in this video right now is a Conference Call that I got very early on in Borderlands 2, and I'd never let go of it because it's simply such a rare drop. It is a shock Conference Call with a ×7 attribute on its damage, and normally when you get a Conference Call, it will only have a ×5 attribute or a ×6 attribute. Rarely, very rarely, do you ever get a ×7, and when I farmed this from the Warrior one day, I didn't really know how good it was until I actually discovered more about Borderlands 2 and how the shotguns work. But this is one of the most powerful Conference Calls out there. It's such an amazing weapon. But for those of you who don't know how the Conference Call works, when it shoots, it generates another additional projectile upon the ricochet of the weapon. And if you guys shoot the Conference Call, you'll see the horizontal line of lots of bullets and stuff like that. Well, let's say there's 2 enemies standing side by side. You're facing the left enemy. You shoot the original amounts of pellets, which is 7 for me. You shoot them at the left enemy. Then once they hit the left enemy, the ricochet from the horizontal lines of the additional pellets will actually hit the enemy on the right. So that's basically how the Conference Call works. So now we can talk about the Interfacer shotgun, and why, in my own personal opinion, I think it has a couple attributes that make it better than the Conference Call. Now, the Conference Call can spawn with anywhere from a ×5 damage attribute to a ×7 damage attribute. The ×7 is the one that I'm using in the footage right now, and an Interfacer can spawn with anywhere from a ×7 damage attribute to a ×9 damage attribute. The ×9 is the one I'm using in this gameplay, which means I actually have one of the most powerful Interfacers out there, but of course it's not too hard to get because you can just save and quit out and keep on going to the Seraph vendor in the in the lodge to get the most powerful interfacer, but this interfacer is one of the most powerful, and the damage projection is of course one of the reasons why interfacer is actually better. Now, the special weapon effect for the interfacer is different from the conference call. It's not necessarily, I wouldn't say it makes it better, but it's just different in ways. So, reading off the wiki here, the red text says, because it enters your face, get it? It enters your face? No, I don't really get it. It's probably a reference to something, but I don't understand it. But fires a slow-moving projectile which spawns 2 to 5 other projectiles in each direction in a horizontal row on either side of the original projectiles, which flare out and then reconnect with their parent projectiles. Okay, let me calm down. Let me explain it. So you have the interfacer. It shoots its original amount of projectiles at where you're shooting at, of course, and while those pellets are moving through the air, there are another set amount of pellets that come out from each side of the projectiles, which anywhere from 2 to 5 projectiles in these particular groups, and then they curve around and then go back into the original direction that it's supposed to be going, and this pattern continues until it actually hits the surface. So it's different, but I can't really say if it's better than what the conference call does. It's just a little different. But one of the other things that the interfacer can do, which makes it better than the conference call, is that while you're aiming down sight, it allows the full movement speed as if you were just hip firing. So if you're hip firing, of course, with the conference call, it's normal speed, and then once you aim down sight with the conference call, it's very, very slow moving. But the interfacer, you can be more accurate with this weapon and yet aim down sight at the same time. So anyways, that's all I really got to say about this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It took me a while to put it together. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you later. Goodbye.